Hello and welcome to Behind the Screen Business Confessions with your girl, Anika Cohen. Hello and welcome, influencers, business owners around the world. Yes, this is the podcast created to uplift small business owners who are building through challenges, doubt, and the growing pains. We have raw, real conversations each week. That's right. And again, it's to empower you. We want to talk about creating alignment, impact, and income without losing yourself in the process. So if you are not linked to this community, go ahead and subscribe. Be a part of the community. If you are a small business owner and you would like to be supported on your journey, you are looking for a community to have real raw conversations, again, about creating alignment, income, and impact without losing yourself, without losing your identity, without losing your vision, right? Because if we just be real about it, which we will, when we talk about building an online brand, when we talk about social media in itself, most times people can lose sight of the vision. They can lose sight of what they were called to do due to the fact of what they are now seeing. They're seeing other people doing things. They're seeing other people maybe getting more attraction than they are, but that does not mean anything when it comes to your calling and your purpose in life. And most times we start to blur the two. So I wanted to create this platform again to have the real honest dialogue about business development, building your business brand, and not having to feel shame or embarrassment because you may not be at the level that your associates are. Everyone has their building. Everyone has their process. Everyone has their journey. And so as long as you are persistent and diligent with strategy, not emotion, continue to show up, continue to choose to live, continue to pursue after the vision that you were called to fulfill, because it is not in vain. Don't lose your focus. Don't lose sight of what you've been called to do simply because of your peers, simply because of your associates in your industry. Let's not compare and compete. Let's just adjust. Let's pivot. Come on here. Let's improve. Come on here, somebody, okay? That's what we need to be doing. Shift, pivot, shift. All right. So listen, influencers, we're going to go on into part 2. We are here to talk about, unpopular truths in business. Unpopular truths in business that no one wants to talk about. We are here to shed light on those topics, okay? Because the bottom line is business growth isn't just about faith. It just isn't about your passion or your visibility. It has everything to do with truth, discipline, and uncomfortable decisions. What got you started in the vision? Yes, could have been your faith. Absolutely. It was your passion. And you wanted to show up and show out for what you've been called to do and fulfill in the earth. However, in doing that, it's going to require some discipline. It's going to require some truth, and it's going to require you to make uncomfortable decisions, right? It's going to cause you to still be intentional with your movement when it's silent, when there is no sales. Come on here, somebody. When you are not supported or validated through your particular people, the people that you think should be there to support you and show up for you. That's real and raw dialogue that we don't have. And when those things show up emotionally and you're not prepared for it, you give up because you are burnt out. You give up because you are competing. You give up because you are comparison and you don't feel as though what you are doing is enough. You begin to devalue your value. Come on here, somebody. And that's are the things that I want to dismantle. This is why this platform was created and developed, because I believe the more you normalize anything, it becomes normal, and you don't have to be shameful of that when you just address it, when you acknowledge it, when you simply are aware of what's going on so you can make the proper adjustments and improvements. That's called maturity of your mindset. That's called a growth mindset. Us as entrepreneurs, we have to constantly recondition and train our minds to think growth forward. Because you're here and now maybe saying something totally different than what the vision is. And we got to acknowledge that. Come on here, somebody. So listen, if you were not a part of the conversation, right? If you did not tune in to Unpopular Truths in Business, No One Wants to Talk About Part 1, go on and watch the show. We talked about 6 points. Okay, we talked about 6 points in that. So part 2 is I'm going to be giving you the additional 6 points that we are going to talk about. All right, so let's get right into it. Number 7, okay? This is our point number 7 out of 12 points. I'm giving you point number 7, okay? This is part 2. Rest is a strategy. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Rest is a strategy in business. I know you want to keep going and going and going and going. That was me. I'm natural at that. I'm natural at just allowing myself to go. But what I've learned is I also need rest in order to be efficient and effective in what I'm doing. Again, visibility is great. It's great to show up and be visible. But you also need to inquire about your well-being. And so rest is a business strategy. Absolutely. Entrepreneurs, small business owners, we are losing sight of that. You have to put yourself on the calendar. And rest is a business strategy. Because here's the thing, exhaustion clouds decision making. Exhaustion clouds decision making. Think about it. When you are exhausted, you cannot rationally make decisions. Right? Come on here. Let's talk about when I'm hungry, when I'm hangry. Come on here, somebody. It's the same concept, in my opinion. When your brain has shut down due to not having the proper nutrition, you running off fumes. Come on here, somebody. Listen, the same thing will apply when you are exhausted mentally and emotionally, and when you have not given yourself the permission to just simply rest and be. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Get still and get quiet. That is the most powerful posture that you can have as a business owner, as an individual, might I add. Because how you operate in business is how you operate in your life. So for those of us who are just getting started in business with the business development, you got to develop your mindset. Because if you go in with your negative perceptions, if you go in with your ego and your pride, you are going to miss opportunity, and you are going to experience burnt out quicker than you may think, and you are going to give up. I know that was a raw truth. Breathe that in. Breathe it in. Come on, host confession. Host confession. Let's go. Let's go there. You're not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. Again, I told y'all that naturally I know how to tap into a place to just do what needs to be done. But in doing that, I was exhausted. I was burnt out, frustrated, overstimulated, because I wasn't allowing my mind and my body to rest. Because this has to get done. That has to get done. What about this? And not to mention, hello, yes, I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur, but I am still a mother of 4 children, right? I am still a sister. I'm a daughter. And I have a close knit family. We definitely check in with each other. We keep communications open and clear and honest. Okay, so come on here, somebody. I have a ministry, right? Choose to Live Enterprises is my ministry. So there are people who may reach out to me, right? But I can't serve from an empty well. I can't serve from an empty well. And so rest was essential because it gave me clarity. It gave me peace of mind. Come on here, a sound mind. It gave me peace of mind when I allowed myself to rest. And when I had to shift my focus, though, I had to shift my perspective to say that rest is acceptable. I choose to rest. I choose to get still. I choose to get quiet. I choose myself not to allow myself to focus on anything or anyone else, because this is what I need. Okay? So rest is a business strategy. I have been there. And when I find myself wanting to be in the on go, I want to allow myself to be in that state of just constantly going and going and going. I say, hold up. I check in with myself. What's really going on? What you really chasing after? What's this really about? Am I seeking validation? Right? Come on. Check in with yourself and be honest. Most times we're not checking in with ourselves. We're not asking ourselves the real questions. And again, it doesn't take away from your brilliance. I am still an expert. I am still a woman that knows how to serve her audience and to help them to build and grow their business online. So yes, that's my host confession. You know, I'm going to give it to you as transparent as I can. Because the one thing that I know to be true is that human behavior doesn't lie. Everyone goes through what we talk about here on this show. The only difference is they don't talk about it. We talk about it. We shed light about it. So that way we don't have to fake it till we make it. That way that we don't have to feel cringy and uncomfortable when we are just simply revealing our truth. Come on here, somebody. I know I set somebody free. I know I set you free. Be free. So burnt out is not proof of dedication. That's what I learned. Burnt out is not proof of dedication. Ooh, I'm so tired. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. Save it. Save it. It don't mean you so dedicated. It means that you don't have discipline. Come on. That's what it means. Ooh, I've been doing this. I'm so tired. I ain't had a chance to rest. That's when I say to myself, you don't have discipline. You have not created discipline in your life in that area. Choose to live. Because here's the thing, a tired mind can't build a wise business. A tired mind can't build a wise business. All right, so point number 7, rest is a business strategy. Get into it. Number 8, some seasons require letting go. Let's talk about it. Come on. Some seasons require letting go. Really. For real. It does. As you grow, as you expand, as you evolve, as you mature as a person, as a being, because your business will grow you. It will reveal to you the truths about you that you need to work on as an individual. Because regardless of what industry you are in, you're still serving people. You're still serving people. There's an interaction there. There's engagement there. There's business etiquette. There's customer service at some level. So growth is inevitable, in my opinion, when it comes to entrepreneurship. When you enter into entrepreneurship, you are telling yourself subconsciously, I want to grow. I want to evolve as a person, because you will be challenged. Absolutely. You will be challenged in all areas of your life. So business, entrepreneurship, business minded, you as an individual, it's all intertwined. It all goes together, in my opinion. I believe that. So yeah, some seasons are going to require you to just simply let it go. Let it go. Whatever it is, people, places, or things, let it go. If it's not serving you or your business, let it go. Listen, here's the thing. What got you to where you are right now might not take you where you're going. And that's the honest truth. Come on, you're evolving, you're growing. So what it took to get started, you're going to have to begin to add to that. Right? You might have been highly motivated in the beginning, but now if you then shift into another realm in your business and in your life, hello, that motivation ain't gonna work no more. You're just gonna have to maybe create routine. It's might gonna have to be discipline that is now what takes you to the next level, right? You doing it scared because you may be going into another level of investment. Ooh, right? So that's a scary place. You may be doing some things that are unfamiliar for you. Starting your business credit line, right? You may, again, whatever level you're in, these things require faith and discipline, right? So some seasons are going to come where you're going to have to let things go. Let it go. Right? That includes old offers. That includes clients. That includes identifying what no longer fits with the brand. I've had to do many of different shifts within Choose to Live Enterprises as I was building it, like the ideas. How does this all come together? And now I'm so happy to say I know how it all comes together. I know how it all comes together now. And it's beautiful. And it's working. And I'm not having to do too much to make it work. But I have to shed light on where I started. I had to shift things. I had to begin to do things a little bit differently than what I started out doing them. So what got you to where you are right now may not take you to where you're going. You're going to have to shift and pivot. Okay, so some seasons require just simply let it go. If it's not working, let it go. Where are you at? What do you need to track, assess, and adjust? Right? Okay, so let's continue to move forward. All right, so listen, if you new here, this is the Choose to Live community. We choose to live, period. We choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious, and enlightened. That's what we choose to do daily. All right. So let's continue on. Number 9. Point number 9 is simple. Consistency without direction is noise. Absolutely. Consistency without direction. I know I say to be consistent. Absolutely, you got to be consistent. But you also need direction. And so for people that tell me, I just go with the flow, I challenge that. You want to know where you're going. Because if you're just going with the flow, you don't know where you're going to end up. You should have a destination. You should have a destination. And you should have some key points on how you're going to get to that destination. Absolutely. You need to prepare and you need to plan. Most entrepreneurs don't want to prepare and they don't want to plan. But I want to be a millionaire. I want to have a successful business. I want to live a freedom lifestyle. Right? I want to live in financial freedom. Whatever it is that you're decreeing, declaring that you want to fulfill, It doesn't come without direction and consistency. It all works together. You can't do one without the other. You can't have direction and no clarity. You can't have clarity with no direction, which leads you to be consistent. They all work together. Come on here, somebody. So consistency without direction is just you going in cycles and circles. You're just making noise. Posting daily doesn't mean you're building. Oh, isn't that a real raw truth? Just because you post daily, you content creators, you influencers, right? Just because you post daily doesn't mean you're building a brand, doesn't mean you're building a living legacy, not without direction and your consistency. See, the consistency is you're posting every day. You're having something online every day to post. Great. That's wonderful. That's consistency. But where's the direction? If you're just posting to be posting with no direction, no clarity, no call to action, and you're just making noise, you are just being visible. And that's the truth. So consistency does matter, but clarity matters more. Direction matters more. Right? Content without intention. Come on, remember that. Content without intention, it what? Confuses your audience. It confuses your audience. A confused audience, I heard a wise woman say it, and I loved it. Confused audience don't buy. So if you're stagnant, think about if you're constantly posting, 1 minute you're posting about this event, the next minute you're posting about your subscription or your channel. Next minute you're talking about this, you're talking about that, and it's all leading them to different directions. That's a confused audience. They're not really clear. So you need to get clarity. We lead the audience. They don't lead us. We lead them. All right. So consistency without direction is simply noise. Content without intention is a confused audience. Right? And we don't want our audience to be confused. So yes, consistency does matter. Direction matters. Clarity matters. They all matter. You have to work them together. Can't do one without the other. All right. We clear about that? So listen, we just talked about the first 3 points. The first 3 points, right? 7, 8, and 9. 7 was rest is a business strategy. Rest is a business strategy. Number 8, some seasons require letting go. Right? And number 9 is consistency without direction is noise. All right, so we're moving right on to our next 3 points. Point number 10. Healing matters more than the hustle. Healing matters. Healing matters more than the hustle. Survival mode affects your business. That simple. Remember, we talked about that. Come on, a few weeks ago. That's where it had to all start because some of us are in survival mode. Get up out of that survival mode. Survival mode will affect your business every time. Unhealed pressure leads to unhealthy growth. Right? I believe, again, everything it begins and it ends with you. So you as a business owner, don't forget about you as a woman or as a man. Don't forget your name. Before anything, before any title, my name is Anika Cohen. Before any title, my name is Anika Cohen. She comes first. She has to come first. Before I can be the business coach, before I can be the mother, before I can be your friend, before I can be your individual coach. Your coach, right? I am Anika. Remember that. So Anika has to heal. Anika has to allow herself to heal. Anika has to allow herself to be delivered. Anika has to set the posture for those experiences and to nurture her well-being so she can stay healed, so she can stay delivered. Again, before your title, what's your name? Come on here, somebody. And that's all I'm going to say to that, because you can't scale what's been in survival mode. If you are still in survival mode, how can you scale up? How can you propel forward when you are constantly in a space of turmoil, of defeat? Mentally, you are. Because you're not operating from faith. You're operating from a place of fear. But that's the counselor in me. So healing matters. Come on, healing matters. Let's move on. Point number 11. Confidence comes from clarity, not validation. Y'all know how I feel about confidence. Confidence comes from clarity, not validation. Likes don't build self-trust. Comments don't build self-trust. Come on here. Sharing your content don't build self-trust. Do you trust yourself? Trust yourself. Because here's the thing. I know social media is hype. It's hype. And you pay attention to the followers, you pay attention to, the likes in the comment, and the hearts and all of that. And then you can become validated by those things. And that's what people don't talk about. But that's psychology. That's your human nature. You're human, so you got to check in with yourself and make sure that you are mindful and conscious of what's going on and how it's affecting you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? So confidence comes from clarity within, not validation from outward. We want the validation, likes, comments, shares, audience, followers, numbers, all of that. But that's not your validation. If you allow that to be your validation, you're going to quickly burn out. You're going to quickly become exhausted and overstimulated. You are going to quickly lose yourself. Okay? So clarity is quieter than the hype. Absolutely. Clarity is quieter than the hype. Quieter than the hype. But it's far more powerful. It's far more powerful. So I'd rather have clarity and confidence than validation. I know. We want that attention. You're not in business for attention. You're in business to be intentional, be profitable, and create an alignment and impact. And all you need to do that is clarity and confidence, direction, strategy. You never need validation. Absolutely not. So throw that out the window. Throw it out. All right. Because it's very easy to creep up. That's what I know to be true. Validation is very sneaky. That's a sneaky emotion. That thing is the devil. It's the devil. But anyhow, so point number 12, before we end our segment on unpopular truths in business that no one wants to talk about. But here on the Behind the Screens Business Confessions, we talk about it. We talk about it because we want to, again, shed light, and we want to have these conversations to normalize the things that we experience along the journey of growing. Come on here, somebody. So point number 12 is success will trigger people. I know. You're like, what is she talking about now? Anika is always saying something, and I am. I say the things that most people don't say. They just think about it. Or they have the conversations behind closed doors in the privacy of wherever they're at. And that's fine. But again, this is about real, raw conversations, creating alignment, impact, and income without losing yourself in the process. So you have to have the real, raw conversation. And here's one of them. Success will trigger people. Why? Because growth changes relationships. Growth changes relationships in any capacity. Growth changes relationships because conversations change, mindsets change. And when those things change, the people around you change because either we are in alignment or we are not. Either we are having productive, healthy conversations or we are not. I have outgrown those conversations. I have outgrown that perspective. I have outgrown the unhealthy behaviors, right? And when you ungrow these things, the people around you will change. So success is going to trigger some of your folks that's so close to you right now. Because when you begin to evolve and change in your conversation and your dialect and just how you present yourself and how you choose to live, come on here, somebody, it's not going to make some people happy. Some people will begin to be upset about your growth and they will begin to question you as an individual. And they may say you acting fake. They may say, who do you think you are? Come on here, somebody. If you haven't heard it, you probably discerned it. You probably felt it and wondering, why am I feeling this way when I get around this individual? Why am I not feeling connected? Why am I no longer wanting to be associated with certain people, places, or things? Why? Because you have outgrown that relationship. You are no longer the same person. You have evolved. And so I call that success. So success will trigger people. Absolutely. And it does it every time. But what we try to do is force and make it work. Because I've known this person for 5, 10 years, whatever the story is. Just know growth changes relationships. It doesn't mean that there has to be ill intent. It doesn't mean that there has to be an issue. It doesn't have to be a problem when the relationship has changed. It doesn't mean that I have an issue with you, I don't like you, or I wish you things that aren't well. I wish you unhappiness. No, it doesn't mean any of that. It simply means that the relationship has changed and it's okay. I still respect you. I still like you. I can still be cordial with you. When I see you, say hello, have cordial conversation, casual conversation, right? And move on. Doesn't mean that there has to be discord or chaos or dysfunction or any negative energy. It doesn't have to be that. And most people think just because you've outgrown relationships that there has to be an issue now. There has to be a problem. There is no problem. I still like you. And I still love you. So being called different is often proof you're grown. I'm so happy that I've grown because I've heard it all. I've heard those very things that I mentioned earlier. Nika, you think you better than me? Who do you think you are? So, now you in church again? You going back to church? Oh, you saved? I've heard it all. Heard it all. So being called different, absolutely, is often the first sign that you have evolved, my friend. You have grown out your circle, and be proud about that. Be proud about that. You ain't better than nobody, but you're just choosing to do things differently for yourself. Where's the harm in that? So unpopular truths don't feel good. Come on here, somebody. Unpopular truths do not feel good, but they free you. So listen, this was part 2 of unpopular truths about business that no one wants to talk about. This was part 2. Listen, we had 12 points that we were able to have a dialogue about and how it relates to us and how we can do better and how we can shift that energy into something great. when we are conscious and aware of what's going on. So a lot of about this show is just awareness, being aware, having the perspective of what's going on, because some of us may not know. So when you have the knowledge and you have the awareness, you are able to take action and use strategy and intention to combat that. All right. So listen, go back to part 1 if you have not. And we're going to recap part 2. So what we talked about today, ladies and gents, point number 7 was rest is a business strategy. Point number 8, some seasons require letting go. Point number 9, consistency without direction is just noise. Number 10, healing matters. Period. More than that hustle. Number 11, confidence comes from clarity, not your validation, not the validation. And number 12 is success will trigger people. It will. It will. So you just choose to live, choose to live, choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious and enlightened. And as always, influencers, I want to hear your behind the screen business confessions, right? I want to hear your business confessions. I want to hear from you. We would love to share your thoughts and offer any resources, information that we think will be helpful to your journey. We are not alone. There is more of us than not. And what I've been observing about just individuals who do have the same dialogue as Choose to Live Enterprises, they want to talk about, what most people aren't talking about in business. And what I see from just the observation is it's a hard conversation. People don't want to shed light on it because it takes away from the glitz and the glams of business, entrepreneurship, because everybody just wants the aesthetics of it. Everybody just wants the tall buildings, the tall windows, and they just want the aesthetics of it, everything about how it looks, but not about the effort and the work and the discipline that it actually requires you to be at that level of success. So we just want it instantaneously. That's instant gratification, but without doing the work. So oftentimes I say, do you really want it? And that's why this show is important, to get you to have the mind frame that you need to activate and continue to operate in that mindset, that growth mindset, changing your perspective, being open-minded instead of closed-minded, allowing yourself to TAA, track, assess, and adjust as needed, because you are not exempt from any of these topics that we talk about here. Nobody is. So rest is a business strategy was point number 7. 8, some seasons require letting go. Number 9, I'm just again recapping, consistency without direction is a noise. Healing matters more than not the hustle. Confidence comes from clarity, not validation was point number 11. And point number 12, success will trigger people every time. So choose to live, influencers, choose to live. If you are not already a part of the community, I don't understand why you're not. Go ahead, subscribe, like, and share, please, and thank you. And listen, we are hosting our 3rd annual Influencers on the Rise Gala. So go on to choosetolivesociety.com and check it out. This is an event for, again, entrepreneurs to come together, to celebrate one another, to network, to have a night of laughter, entertainment, empowerment, and just to celebrate what we are doing in the community. And we're choosing to live, and we're choosing to create impact. And so until next time, influencers, choose to live, choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious and enlightened.